Hello gamers, happy Sunday, welcome to the stream! Welcome. There's so many of you today, hello, welcome! Welcome to the stream! It is Sunday, we stream every Sunday at this time, literally, most Sundays unless something catastrophic happens. So welcome! I see many of my reoccurring chatters. Welcome back, guys, and welcome to the new chatters I see today, too! We're jamming out to some chill Stardew Valley music today. I figured we needed something a little relaxing because we're gonna be doing some writing today. So, yes, hello, hi, my name is Hawley, otherwise known as PetPyves. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, she, her. I use all pronouns, can't mess it up. I'm the creator of 12 and Origins, I'm the creator of Brightside, and I'm the creator of Persona Project. And today we're gonna be writing some Persona Project. And it's gonna be a little interesting, because I've done this with some members-only streams before, but I've never done it, like, publicly before, so this will be really interesting. I actually have some things that I kind of need help with, too, as far as, like, naming some characters and stuff, so you guys could be a part of that, which will be kind of cool. And whenever there's going to be some content warnings, I will let you know beforehand before I start writing it or talking about certain things, because with Persona Project, obviously, there's some touchier subjects, to say the least. I mean, this week's episode should be a testament to that. But yeah, this is basically our stream format. I've got some really cool fan art up above. If you want to submit fan art, there's a link in the description. It's always open. You can submit it even after the stream is over. That link is always working, always available. I took away, we usually have a little Peeves catching fruit right here, but he was kind of blocking the text. So I had to, like, remove him for the stream. He's stolen the bowl and he ran off. So that's what we're gonna say happened. Mostly because I want you guys to be able to actually see what I'm writing. So yeah. But you can still donate to the stream. There's a link in the description to do that, or you can super chat. All of it's super appreciated. It goes towards me making cool stuff, which is very appreciated. Alright. So in between writing, I'll be doing a little bit of answering people's questions and stuff in the chat. If I don't get to it, I'm sorry. I'm definitely, like, doing, like, 500 things at once. Amethyst asked, how am I doing today? I'm doing much better than last week. I got a new jacket era. I'm not gonna draw myself in the new jacket because it'll confuse people. But yeah, technically I'm in my new jacket era, so yeah. Peeves is on timeout. Yeah, no. It's because he was blocking the view! He's blocking the view, so we couldn't have that. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Peeves, we're gonna say Peeves stole the empty bowl and he's gonna sleep in it like a bowl of soup. Peeves soup bowl. I think that'd be cute. I should draw that sometime. Galaxy Dreams, there's not really a limit on how much fan art you can send, but I would keep it to a minimum because you want to share the stage with everybody else. Maybe like 5 pieces if you want, would be a good, I guess, limit, I would say. As long as it pertains to my channel. I know some people are submitting art that, like, there's no discernible way for me to tell if it's fan art, it's just like random art, and I'm like, well, if it doesn't pertain to the channel, it's not like fan art. So as long as it's fan art, go for it, man. That's super cool. I really appreciate it. There's some really cute art up here today. Ah, there's so many wild childs of blackbirds. Makes me so happy. Zayden, much my view on Legos. I love Legos. I still have a Lego table in my basement. Oh. Lemon Fairy. I do draw myself very accurately. I know that's, like, kind of weird for people sometimes, like, oh my god, you look just like you. Some people, like, make different little caricatures of themselves.
Peeves is stuffing their face with the fruit.
Yay, thank you, Gemini Pro. Oh, you're a comfort crab. That's so cool, dude. Oh my god. I love seeing the little comfort crabs. Oh, this is so cool. Thank you so much from Canada. Thank you. Oh, my heart didn't come through very well. There we go. Do you actually read the YouTube comments? Yes, Caitlin God, I do. I read pretty much everything because I'm like, you know, I moderate my channel really heavily to make sure it's a safe space. And yeah, I see everything. Just because I don't respond doesn't mean I don't see it. Because yeah, if I responded to everybody, I think I'd be here like all day, every day. I do try to respond. I'm getting better about it, but yeah, I have struggles with that. Do I read any books? No, I don't read many books right now. I have really low vision, so reading is not my favorite activity currently. Have I ever made candy before? Goo creations? I make candy bracelets all the time. I have them on my shelf over there. I have one for each era. I have them for all my special interests. I have candy and little charms I've made for my Tamagotchis. Like, I love it. You look just like you. The greatest plan. It might be crazy what I'm about to say, right? Oh goodness. Okay, guys. But, okay, so I want to show you guys kind of this like behind the scenes kind of stuff when it comes to writing Persona Project, because I really like sharing a lot of my like process, like the full process. I think the only thing I haven't shared is my editing, because it's just really annoying to like listen to the audio over and over and over again. So this is like one of the first formats I had for Persona Project was like this RPG style like thing. So what you're looking at right here is actually like, this is actually the meeting episode. And this is like exactly what I used for the meeting episode. And there's all these little emotes, and it's like, I wrote it in the style of like how each era would talk, and there's like little like details here that are like, oh, like obviously some things changed where it's like, oh, while child toddles over, tugs on Robin's pants, except it was Parker in the video, ended up changing it a little bit. So it's like, this is like how the script was, and it's like not super efficient or anything. Like, this is like very cosmetic and cutesy and like not very practical. Like, not very practical at all. But it was really fun, and I had multiple, like, what I called these, like, episodes. I had multiple of them written out of, like, eras interacting with each other and stuff. And I won't show those, because I think I will end up animating them at some point, and that'll be spoilers. But yeah, this was the entirety of that, in this kind of format. So, the one I want to write today is actually, you guys have been requesting this a lot. I really need to make a special that introduces all of the entities, because you guys are really curious about the Tricksters, Showbiz, Figment, and Clockwork. You really like want to learn more about them, and that's fine and dandy, and I am all for educating the masses on mental health. So today I think that's gonna be our primary focus. If we happen to finish writing out a draft for this little episode, then we're gonna hop on over and start working on year 11, because year 10's already written and year 11 has not been written yet, which will be Blackbird's era. So I also want to take this moment to introduce you guys to another entity that's gonna come up soon that hasn't been shown at all yet. I have in my regular episodes, I have a reference of what they look like. Yeah, so this is an entity you guys haven't seen yet. I'm back and forth on the name, and I think I'm gonna have you guys vote on the name, actually, because I can't decide. I have two different names for this entity, and it's either Collywobbles or Ticklebug. Because Ticklebug is what I used to call it in, like, Wild Child Blackbird era, and, I wasn't sure if Ticklebug would be too close to the Trickster. Like, I didn't want two different, didn't want two T names. But then I realized Collywobbles would also be a C name, and we have Clockwork, so now it doesn't even matter, right? So, we're just gonna probably have to vote on what we want to name this one. It is, Pray. Pray to the monetization gods that I do not get demonetized for saying the words I'm about to say. I had an eating disorder when I was younger, and this is the representation of that, because every entity is essentially a disorder, and this is a disorder. So, I kind of designed them to be like a peppermint, because that's really significant to like the disorder. But I also kind of wanted them to be like this like carnivorous plant with like a mouth, because none of the entities have mouths except for this one, and this one doesn't have eyes, because all the other entities have eyes. So it's kind of like that stark difference between all of the entities, so I designed it to be like a candy plant has one big boot that's like kind of like the pot of the plant, and I imagine that it can't really move very much, but its little wobbly neck can go all over the place. And that's why I thought Collywobble would be a cute name, even though this is a disorder, it's not cute at all, but, you know, my inner children named it, so what are you gonna do? Fizzy Dizzy, I don't know why that is something, but every time I have ever mentioned it, it has been an instant demonetization. Like, there is such strict rules about eating disorders on YouTube, it is like, you can't even say the words, it is like, I'm like taking a risk just putting this on the screen right now, but I'm just like, no, like we need to talk about these things. Like we can't just like pretend they're not real, because they are. So yeah, I think I'll put up the poll if you guys want to vote on new entity. Ooh, entity's name.
Question. Do all the
Yes.
entities with eyes have green eyes because they're also you in a way?
Yes.
Or did it just look good with their designs?
No, Mal, you're absolutely right. No, they do have green eyes because I have green eyes. Okay, so we have Collywobbles and Ticklebug going up on the poll for you guys to vote. And yeah, no, that's a great thing to point out, Mal. They all have, like, a little touch of green. And with Collywobble's design, with all the entities' designs, if you notice, there's some overlap with some stuff. Like, the kind of polka dots, in my eyes, represent anxiety. So, like, PTSD, my PTSD has little polka dots, my OCD has polka dots, the Trickster has polka dots. There's a little bit of anxiety sprinkled into each of them because they're all anxiety-based disorders. And definitely my eating disorder was very tangled up with my anxiety. Like, my anxiety is tied to my stomach for sure. And that's like a typical symptom of a lot of people who have like severe trauma and anxiety disorders. So it's really interesting, and I like kind of connecting certain designs with other designs, especially when they're more close together, like how Showbiz and the Trickster look really similar. It's because they're both anxiety. So, just a little bit of thought behind the design. Wow, Collywobbles is winning by like a large margin. That's amazing. I definitely like, I don't know where Ticklebug came from. I know that's just something I used as a child to describe like when my stomach hurt. It was like, oh, there's a little bug in there tickling you. Because, you know, Wild Child had the most creative ways to like express herself, like like always, like sprinkles in my leg for your leg falling asleep, and like Ticklebug for like anxiety induced stomach ache. Anxiety tummy sucks. And this guy is gonna represent the tummy achy anxiety that eventually develops into far worse things. Luckily, I did get professional help, and I did get medical treatment, and I was very early on caught this disorder before it really spiraled out of control. So I'm really grateful for that. If you definitely think you're struggling with something similar, please get help before it gets any worse, trust me. I'm glad I got it very early. It was a very brave thing, actually. It was like I didn't know I had an eating disorder until my doctors pulled me aside because I was so underweight that they were like, hey, we need you to fill out this questionnaire. When I filled it all out, yeah, obviously I had anxiety and I had depression. And they said, oh, do you want your mom to be in the room with you while we talk to you about this? And I was like, no. And like my mom threw a fit and was like, Ron, what are you gonna say to them that I can't be here? Blah, blah, blah. I'm your mother. I should know everything about you. And like, you know, the doctors like pushed her out. And that's when I actually got to tell them everything. And that's when they actually got me help. So again, it's like a very solo journey sometimes, but like, please advocate for yourself. That is the message that I'd like to spread here. Alright, and I think Hawley Bubbles is gonna win the vote here. That is actually amazing. That is so wild. I think I'll leave it up for the entire stream though, so that way people who just joined can also vote on it. But yeah, that's one entity that we're gonna probably bring up. The other, like, little, like, side character designs for little things, like, there are definitely more than one entity that I haven't introduced yet, but they're, like, kind of insignificant and only show up for a brief period of time. And so, it's that kind of thing where I don't have, like, set designs for, like, everything, but for the ones that I do, like, these are the main 5. So, that's what this episode's gonna be about. Which era did that happen? Oh, that was Blackbird. I was really young. This was, yeah, that story came from Blackbird. We'll get there. That's, like, in year 11. It's very soon. Do the designs of the entities change? No, silly, they don't. They stay consistently the same because, like, even though the severity can grow and change, usually I just have that manifest as they physically grow bigger or more powerful, or they shrink down and get really small. But they're always there. And that's kind of the thing with mental health. It's always there. Everybody has the ability to become depressed. Everybody has the ability to become anxious. Everybody experiences those emotions throughout their life naturally. That is like a very universally shared experience. It's just that some people have it prolonged and other people have it for a more regular amount of time. Like, obviously, if someone passes away, you're probably going to feel depression. And most people can naturally grieve and heal on their own. They have the skills to do that, and other people stay depressed for many, many years. And so it's kind of like a cold, where you have the ability to catch one at any point. It's always kind of there, but it only shows itself every now and then, and you can do everything you can to prevent it and keep yourself healthy. And when you do have it, you just rest and take care of yourself. So that's a good analogy for mental health, and they don't change because of that. They're always with me. I can never really escape them. It is going to be a part of me forever, and that is just a part of my acceptance. Yeah, I'm glad if you guys ever have experienced anything that I have. I'm very glad that we are where we are now and we can feel better, because it's really rough. Yeah, it is, it's a hard thing to talk about. Like, I'm just, it's just rough to talk about. So, as far as the episode goes, with our little entities here, we're gonna switch on over. Alright, so I don't think right off the bat I'm gonna keep the little thing like super like cutesy or whatever. I'll just go ahead and introduce all the entities in case some people might not be totally familiar with them. So yes, this is the Trickster. The Trickster is the cat-like orange and blue character who has augmentation, can shrink down and get really, really big and really, really small depending on what is going on. The Trickster has been present with me like most of my life. Like, I was anxious and depressed like even as a child. So like kindergarten, like literally. So the trickster is the embodiment of a lot of things. It is my anxiety and my depression, but it is also my negative core beliefs, my toxic shame, like just general all of my trauma. Like it is just all of the bad things is what this little guy is. And you can always hear him coming. He's got these big clown shoes, he's got jingle bells, and that's just kind of who the trickster is, and that's what the trickster does. The trickster makes you think a certain way that is not good for you. That's why it's called the trickster, and whenever he shows up, it's like I have to look at him and go, oh yeah, that's right, you're tricking me. Because when I have these negative core beliefs like, oh, tomorrow won't be better, today is really terrible, and tomorrow's gonna be just as bad, it's really negative, and that is the trickster saying, oh yeah, tomorrow won't be better. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. No, tomorrow will be better. I don't know that. We don't know that yet. Are you a time traveler, trickster? No, you're not. So I'm very much all the time battling this thing, and he is kind of the main character when it comes to the entities. Showbiz is my obsessive compulsive disorder. I have a very specific brand of OCD, but I also have some very classic forms of OCD. Mal, this is the Stardew Valley soundtrack. Just so you know, I've been really enjoying Stardew Valley music right now. I think I'm gonna start playing the game again. Help me. It's gonna be a crazy phase if I do it. But my OCD kind of manifests as your typical OCD. I have the cleaning aspect where I have to reorganize and like clean everything a lot and rearrange and kind of obsessively do that. I've got the contamination fear. I've got like a lot of like, I think everything is like rotten. I think everything has germs. I think I'm always gonna get sick. I'm like always panicking over that. And I don't like using the term germaphobe because people have like turned it into a joke now. And it's very much not a joke how I feel. It is very distressing and very disrupting of my daily life. And then I have more of like the intrusive thought OCD. I have the thought that I'm a bad person, or that something bad is going to happen, like a looming dread. Like, I think my most common OCD thought right now is, yeah, Persona Project's going great, but wait until they find out. And I'm like, find out about what, Showbiz? And they're like, you did something really awful, and they're gonna find out. And I'm like, what did I do? Like, I genuinely have not done anything, right? Like, I have not done anything, but my OCD's like, you just don't remember. You just don't remember. You did something really terrible. Everyone's gonna hate you and leave you, and you're gonna get abandoned, and you're awful. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I know I'm not, but it's like, I always am having the intrusive thoughts of like, oh god, what if I did something wrong and I don't remember? Oh my god, what if I da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's just like, it's the fear of like, the anxiety of like, I did something, but I don't know what I did. And then this is... I did nothing, okay? And it's just, it's almost like the trickster that way, where it's tricking me into thinking like a completely different life that I've like, apparently am living somewhere else that I have no idea about. And it's just... So that's Showbiz. Very much like, for the show of like, oh, you better clean this 3 times or else this bad thing is gonna happen, and if you don't do this thing, you're not gonna stop thinking about it. So go on, play the part, do the little show, do the spin around in circles for me 3 times, and it's like, I always feel like I'm like the puppet and this is the puppeteer. So that's kind of what I base that design on. For Clockwork, she is my post-traumatic stress disorder, but I have C-PTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So it is more than your average PTSD. Yes, I have flashbacks. Yes, I have nightmares. Yes, I have like constant depression, anxiety surrounding all of my trauma. I have very niche triggers. I have like broad triggers too, like people yelling, like loud slamming noises. I have like just lots of things that could set me off with this specific disorder. But the thing that makes it complex is the complexity of the grief and the amount of trauma. You know, people think of PTSD, they think of, like, you know, people who are war veterans, where all of their PTSD is centered around a single event, like war. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder is very much like not just war. It's like if you went through a war, you lost your loved ones, then your car got stolen, then you were homeless, then you had to find a new job and the job treated you badly. It's just like a whole lot of trauma. And for me, obviously, you can see that. Like, we're only, like, on Blackbird, and you can probably see how these events are stacking up. And there's also a complex grief that comes with PTSD. Like, it is just, like, you're grieving what you lost or what you should have had, right? Because I look at Wild Child, and I grieve so heavily for her because I see a child so full of wonder and love and life, and then I see that the way I was treated, in the life I was robbed of, and I can never go back to my childhood. It's over. And there's just like this immense loss that you have to cope with, and that's what Clockwork is. I depict her as this kind of big puppy dog, because she's kind of like a pit bull in my mind, where people think of PTSD and they think, oh, it's awful, it's terrible. But it's really just trying to protect you. It's definitely more of like a coping mechanism that's become maladaptive over time. Because in the past, it protected me. My PTSD used to, like, keep things fresh in my mind, so I would keep myself safe. And remember, Candy's not a safe person. Candy's not a safe person. Here's all the memories of Candy. And it's like, yes, thank you. I need that because I keep getting tricked into thinking she's not a bad person. But now it's like, Candy's a bad person, Candy's a bad person. And I'm like 27 and I'm thousands of miles away and I'm like, okay, this isn't helpful anymore. Like, so she's like this big protective puppy dog that doesn't know when to stop being a big protective puppy dog. She's probably the entity that I have the best relationship with because I just understand it very deeply. And then Figment is my avoidant personality disorder, and this is a little bit more of a niche disorder. Avoidant personality disorder often gets mistaken for other disorders. It's the outdated term for this disorder is antisocial, which is a little bit of a harmful stigma now, so we don't use the term antisocial. We use avoidant personality. And there are some people who have avoidant attachment styles, and you don't have to have a whole avoidant personality disorder to have avoidant attachment styles in your relationships. Mine is a personality disorder because it affects my entire personality and pretty much every aspect of my entire life. Figment is very much my dissociation. Figment, she kind of represents this, like, disconnect from reality, right? And this intense fear of being perceived, this intense fear of being humiliated. And it is super rough, and it's mostly the reason why I have such a hard time interacting. Like, I can talk in person all day long on a camera and I'll be fine, but the moment I have to, like, type out a text, it's just, like, scary. Like, I'm much better at calling people. I've found my mediums where I can socialize a little bit more comfortably, but it's still very uncomfortable. Like, putting myself out there is kind of my gradual exposure therapy work, like, literally. But that's why if anybody's ever close to me or you join my Discord, if you're like a member and you join the Discord, you'll notice that I'm a little bit reserved. And for avoidant personality disorder, it definitely comes across as like this shyness or reservedness, but it is so much deeper than just being the shy kid. It is very much like I fear people. I genuinely I have like no desire to make connections. I have no desire to maintain relationships. They don't benefit me, they just stress me out. I genuinely can sit in a room for like 4 weeks by myself with my computer and draw, and I would never need to talk to anyone. And I know that that's just like not normal. And that's kind of the hardest part about having a personality disorder, is feeling like it's so normal for me and then seeing how much it affects everyone around me and go, oh shoot, that's probably not normal. Dang. But I don't know how to like fix that because that's just like who I am. So it's definitely going to be the one that stays with me the longest. And the people who are close to me can attest to my mannerisms. And it is definitely like a difficult thing that I struggle with every single day, every waking moment. It is hard. And it's one of those things where when it comes to a personality disorder, you really have to check off every single box. Even if you don't check off one box, it just doesn't mean you have it. Like, you just don't have it. You just have traits of it. Good example of this. A lot of people ask me this. I have dissociative identity disorder. I have DID because of the way I depict my eras. I do not have DID. My therapist has cleared me of DID because I don't check every single box. The thing that is keeping me from that diagnosis is the fact that I have all my memories intact and I am me, and every single one of my eras, I can recall every single memory of theirs for them. That is why it's not a dissociative identity. Even though I have some very similar coping mechanisms and traits of DID, I definitely cope in ways that are reminiscent of that. I don't have it because I have a different branch of dissociative disorder, which is avoidant personality, because avoidant personality is another dissociative disorder. So that's a long-winded thing, but yeah, Figment is like, his design is based off of the cloud and rainbow and sun thing that my dad painted on my wall when I was a kid and never finished. Cause man, that is just like such a hard symbolism for just a lot of things in my life, and it's like the attempt to cover things up, you know what I mean? So that's why I made Figment this entity that could shapeshift and is just like this little guy, and it always appears to be like quite helpful. Because it is quite helpful. It's still a coping mechanism that is helpful to me a lot. Like, to be able to dissociate while I'm working on Persona Project, helpful. But also not helpful at the same time, because I should be really not dissociating through that, you know what I mean? So, that is that. And then the last guy is the one entity we're trying to decide the name on. So the name is stuck between Ticklebug and Collywobbles, and it seems like Collywobbles is in the lead here. And this is my eating disorder. I won't name the eating disorder simply because demonetization, and also I was misdiagnosed. I'll get more into it when I get to the episode of how I was misdiagnosed, but I don't feel comfortable saying that I had something that I don't. You know what I mean? So, growing up, I realized, oh, yeah, I definitely didn't have what the doctor said I have. They still treated me for it, and it helped, but it's a difficult one, because it's just, like, it helped, but it definitely wasn't what it was. I don't know how to explain it. I couldn't even tell you, like, the exact name of what I had. Again, I just can't do it right now, but we will get into it later, when I'm okay with getting demonetized for that video. Ah! That's awful. Alright, so, these are all of the little entities. I think I'll close the poll now, because it seems like we're pretty set on Collywobbles. Which is cute, because we could call them Collie or Wobbles. Alright, so Collywobbles. Boom. Yes, yeah, thank you, Chelsea. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it is like, sometimes the treatment that you receive is helpful even though it's not what's going on, which is, you know, strange, but it is what it is. Okay, now on to the actual writing portion. Today I have my clicky-clacky keyboard. It's a typewriter keyboard, so I hope you like some ASMR. So when it comes to making, like, these specials, I know the specials are at least gonna run, like, 3 minutes is usually, like, it's gotta be over the usual, like, short form content time, which is 3 minutes usually. And I will do my best to make it over that, but it might not be. I think it'll just be, like, as long as it is. I try not to stress too much about the timing of things. Obviously, you can see some episodes of Persona Project are getting longer, just because I'd like to just cover everything in a nice bow in, like, one subject right then and there. So, I think it'd be a good idea to have, like, myself open up the episode by being, like, the entities aren't the only, like, or, like, maybe the personas aren't the only ones here, you know what I mean? Also, this is, like, so small. For me, anyways. I have, like, really low vision, so I do apologize. I am gonna be, like, bumping up the size of this to be very dramatic because I cannot see very well. These personas aren't the only... I didn't indicate who's talking. I'm also dyslexic, by the way. So if you see a lot of typos and stuff, please be patient with me, I will get to it. It is very bad. Okay, so Hawley. Sometimes I'll just write like this, like, because I'm the only one who's gonna see it, so I don't really care. I'll make it all pretty if I want to, and if I have the time to, but right now I'm like, no, I just need to get all these ideas down. This is like the rough draft. Alright, so the personas aren't the only ones here with me. Dot, dot, dot. And then I think I'll say, I want to say like, personas aren't the only ones here with me. There are 5 different entities. There are 5 different entities that follow us around. Yeah, there are 5 different entities that follow us around. They represent our various disorders. Yeah, they represent our various disorders. And all came about in... I already said different and various. See, the thing with script writing is that I don't like to be very repetitive. I don't like to make it like certain words are repeated over and over again. Because like I say, there are 5 different entities. They represent 5 different disorders. And it's like different and various are like the same words, but I like to keep it to where there isn't like different, because like the repetition gets annoying. So I'm very careful about my writing, and this is just like years of experience of writing, and just there's always different words you can use. There's synonyms out there. What if there are more entities? I think I'll cover that at the very end of the script. I will say, like I think I'll say there are 5 main entities, and I'll say different disorders because that's an alliteration, and alliterations are fun. So thank you for that. I think I will at the end say there are probably more entities that we have yet to discover. Like, hold on. There are more entities for us to discover along the... But for now, these are the ones... I don't want to say plaguing us, but they kind of are. These are the ones we have to work with. That's a more positive way to look at that, because we are working with them. Here we go. So that'll be at the end. Alright, so there are 5 main entities that follow us around. They represent our different disorders, and all came about in... I want to say, like, they represent our different disorders trickling into my life from a young age, and because they did kind of just trickle in. I don't want to say sneaking, because sneaking sounds like bad, like they snuck their little way in, because like it wasn't sneaking, it was definitely just like boom, like it's been there. Are we peevlings, Meowcat? No, I call you guys peevlets. I don't know why, it's always been a thing. In Ken for Game, I don't consider making dyslexia an entity because I consider it like such a core part of me that it's not really something separate from me. Like, it's like the same reason why I don't make autism a creature, even though there is an autism creature and we love the little yippee guy. So for me, I am autistic, and for me, I am dyslexic. And I very much identify with those things and accept those things, and those things are, in my eyes, not a negative thing. Being dyslexic isn't negative. Being dyslexic is just who I am. And I just require a little bit more patience with myself and from others. I grew up having a speech impediment. I couldn't read and write very well. I still can't. I can write, I just can't physically, mechanically, like, write very well and type very well. I have the motor skills are lacking. And everything's all backwards in my brain, and I can see it all in my head. I'm obviously very well articulated, but when it comes out on paper, it's very much more of a struggle. And that's just who I am. So that's why I don't consider them to be an entity. Because it's not something to, like, I guess, it's not something viewed as, like, oh, it's, like, bad or it negatively affects my life. Yes, it's a struggle, but for me, it's, like, just part of me, and that struggle is a part of me. Whereas my depression and my anxiety is definitely something that I am like, no, I don't want to be depressed and anxious, I want to be happy and healthy. Where do I get the sounds that the entities make? I made them myself. I actually have a bunch of different jingle bells. It sounds kind of nuts, but I have like little jingle bells and I make them myself. I record a bunch of different jingle bell sound effects, and I have different sounding bells for each of the entities. The only one that doesn't have jingle bells is Figment, and for Figment, I get those sound effects from Pajama Sam, which was one of my favorite computer games as a kid. Because it's very cartoony and silly, and I thought that it really fit the entity very well. So that's where I get the sound effects from. So, yes, there are 5 main entities that follow us around. They represent our different disorders, trickling into my life from a young age and persisting throughout my adult. Persisting throughout adulthood. Because I can say adult life again, but I already said my life, so yeah. They represent our different disorders, trickling into my life from a young age and persisting throughout adulthood. So I think we'll go down the line. We'll start with, like, kind of how they all happened, which means it'll go Trickster, Clockwork, Showbiz, Figment, Collywobbles. So yeah, there are 5 main entities that follow us around. They represent our disorders, trickling into my life from a young age and persisting throughout adulthood. I think I'll have Wild Child speak up and say, because she's the one that met the Trickster. She met the Trickster in the episode titled Encounter when I had, like, a near-death experience. She became aware that the Trickster was there. So the thing with the personas is that they aren't entirely aware that entities are there, even though they've been carrying them around. Like, you could see in, like, the first few, like, days of school that I went to when I was a kid, like public school, Wild Child's carrying around a little kitten version of Clockwork, because that's just basically like the representation of, like, she's carrying this anxiety and she's carrying this depression and she doesn't even know it yet, because she has no idea, and it just keeps getting heavier and heavier, bigger and bigger. And yeah, in the day that I had that, like, near-death experience was when I opened my eyes and I thought, it's probably not normal to think about death as much as I do. And I became very self-aware, and it was almost like my consciousness was unlocked, and I remember sitting in that forest being like, this is not normal. And, like, that, whenever I have that revelation of, like, this is not normal, that's usually when the entities are, like, suddenly very visible, and that's when the personas can reach out and physically interact with them. And sometimes in Persona I will show the entities to the persona to kind of make them more self-aware, because they're probably never will. Like how Wild Child was crying over, like, music boxes and rubber ducks, and she had no idea why, and she thought she was just a crybaby. And then it turned out, no, Wild Child, look, this is Clockwork. You have PTSD. And just kind of introducing. Some of them I choose to introduce to my eros, and some of them they just become self-aware all on their own. So, I think I will have Wild Child say, like, oh, like, she's gonna talk about how she met the Trickster. Young age precision. I met the Trickster when I was, I think that was 7? Hold on, I gotta check my other scripts now. Y'all are coming with me. Be prepared for, like, a bajillion piles of text. Okay. I think it was around year 5, yeah, kindergarten. Game Boy, 4th of July. Yeah, Rubber Ducky was like when it first bloomed. So how old was I? 5? Good lord! I was only 5! Oh my god, that is so sad. Oh, wild child. No, dude, that's so rough. Okay, well. Okay. I'm gonna just say, when I was little. I met the trickster when I was little. Maybe when I started kindergarten. Well, let's see. I think cause she like was carrying it around at like 5, but she didn't like meet the trickster for a while. My Shayla! That's exactly how I feel whenever I look back on my own life and look at my little child self and go, what the hell? It's so rough. Alright, yeah, I think when I was little is also very, like, an age-appropriate way to describe that, because I try to write wild child like she's a child. I met the trickster when I was little. Yeah, we'll do it excitedly as well, because she has, like, kind of not really a total understanding of, like, what the trickster is. All she knows is it's a big cat, yay! I met the trickster when I was little. He is a jingly kitty cat who gets bigger and smaller depending. I think depending's a really big word for her. Who gets bigger and smaller when I feel sad or scared. Yeah, he's a jingly kitty cat who gets bigger and smaller when I feel sad or scared. And then I'll explain. Wild child carried around the trickster without, I'm gonna say most of my childhood. Carry that trickster around most of my childhood. I was blissfully unaware that I was already depressed and anxious at age 5. Yeah. Alright, wild child carrying the trickster for most of my childhood. I was blissfully unaware that I was already depressed and anxious at age 5. I think I'll start a new paragraph here. The trickster... Trickster is such a hard word for me. Represents my fluctuating depression, anxiety. I think I'm gonna say just, like, it seems a little redundant. Let's see. Alright, blah blah blah. Let's start over from the top. Personas are everyone here with me. There are 5 main entities that follow us around. They represent different disorders trickling into my life from a young age and persisting throughout adulthood. I met the trickster when I was little. He's a jingly kitty cat who gets bigger and smaller when I feel sad or scared. Wild child carrying the trickster for most of my childhood. I think I'll just say, like, mentally ill. I was supposed to be aware that I was mentally ill at age 5. The trickster represents my fluctuating depression and anxiety. He also... He is also a physical manifestation of all the negative core beliefs that were instilled in me by my toxic family. Okay, there we go. You rock, Hawley. Thanks for the rock. That's so fun. Oh my god. You're the best YouTuber. Thank you, Mira loves IKEA alien. I guess I try. I like the clicking noises. Yay! I'm glad everybody likes my keyboard because I like clicky clacky keyboards. Alright. Instructor represents my fluctuating depression and anxiety. He's also a physical manifestation of all the negative core beliefs that were instilled in me by my toxic family. He is everything down. He is everything negative down to my self-blame, toxic shame. I have to find new words for toxic and negative because they're coming up a lot. He is everything negative down to my toxic blame, self-blame, toxic shame. What else does it represent? And whoa, why did the caps lock turn on? Maladaptive coping mechanisms. Big therapy words, everybody. Just human. Was there a running joke with Jim and Blackbird? Was there a running joke? Well, like, my stepdad used to do a lot of, like, funny little voices and stuff, but I guess our running joke was, like, it would have to be, like, Puffkin, because we would always sit there and play Animal Crossing and stuff, and we would always piss off my mom, who was, like, super homophobic, by playing this super flamboyant and gay character, and being like, yes, queen, we're gonna go to Tom Nook's store, and we're gonna buy flowers, and, like, my mom would be so mad, and we knew it would piss her off, so we'd do it more. That's probably it. Alright, so, let's see. Alright, toxic. Let's see if there's another way I could describe this. He's a physical manifestation of all the... I'm gonna say, instead of negative, I'm gonna say hurtful. Well, negative core beliefs is like a therapy word. So maybe I will change. He is everything harmful. We'll do that. Alright, so he's a physical manifestation of all the negative core beliefs that are instilled in me by my toxic family. He is everything harmful down... That doesn't sound right. Everything harmful down. I think I'll just make this less wordy, because I have to, like, animate myself talking, too. You have to think about that. I have to lip-sync this, so the less wordy, the better. He's a physical manifestation of all my negative core beliefs that were instilled in me by my toxic family. I need to find another word for my abnormal. We'll be kind about it. Yeah. The Jigsaw represents my fluctuating depression and anxiety. He's also a physical manifestation of all the negative core beliefs that were instilled in me by my abnormal family. He is my self-blame, toxic shame, and maladaptive coping mechanisms. I'll explain a little bit about his design, too. Since Wild Child was the first to become aware of him, he's very cat-like. Alright. Since Wild Child was the first to become aware of him, he's very cat-like. Because that was, like, her favorite animal. I know it's like the subtext. It's not that I'm saying, because it was her favorite animal. It's, duh. like there has to be a reason why I said Wild Child was involved at all, so that there's like the subtext there. Since Wild Child was the first to become aware of him, he's very cat-like. He's covered in bells from head to toe. You can always hear him coming. Okay, there it is. It just wasn't typing, and it's just like, hello? I know I said all that. What do you mean, what happened to Peeps? Oh, Peeves, yeah, he had to be moved because he was covering up the text. Don't worry about it. Alright, so. Why is the poll still up on my other screen? Whatever. I don't know why the poll is still up on one of my screens. Anyways. He's covered in bells from head to toe. You can always hear him coming. But the thing, oh no, stop, don't full screen. I hate when it does that, it's so annoying. Okay. But the thing about these entities is that they will never speak. Not that they never will, is that they can't speak. Hold on. And then I think it'd be really funny to make like a sassy comment. So we'll do like Blackbird. We'll do Blackbird. Like, thank God! They're already annoying enough as it is. I think I'll also have Robin say something like, right? And have like, all looming over them. Because Robin has all of them. Robin has Pokemon'd their way too close to the song and has caught them all. So I think they'll be like, alright? And they're just like looming over them. Because this is like you have to like be able to visualize this. Because like it's like gonna be an animation, so I like to think about what it's gonna look like. Yeah, the church represents my fluctuating depression and anxiety. He is a physical manifestation of all negative core beliefs that are instilled in me by my abnormal family. When was the last time? Okay. He's my self-blame, toxic shame, maladaptive coping mechanisms. Oh! Thank you, Empathist!
Hi. This is a myths underscore the underscore silly underscore goblin. You be in the a lot, so glad you're healing. Aww. Have a great day and get yourself some fries.
Yay, thank you so much, that's so sweet. Ah, thank you. I will be getting more fries. We will. Thank you. I know, it has been a lot, and we're just getting started. Oh, year 10 is so rough, y'all. You don't even know. Oh my god, okay. All that aside, since Watchwell was the first to become aware of him, he's very cat-like. He's covered in bells from head to toe. You can always hear him coming. But the thing about these entities is that they can't speak. Thank God! They're already annoying enough as it is. And then, right? I didn't have Wild Child say something. What was I gonna have her say? Wild Child, what were you going to say? I think I'll have her segue into Clockwork. Wild, oh my god. Wild Child. We don't need more wild. We don't need more wild on the child. Holy shit. We're in danger. Alright, what about the big puppy dog? What about the big puppy dog? Which will be the segue into Clockwork. I feel like I covered everything I need to when it comes to like the depression and anxiety. Maybe I just need to cover why he is called the trickster before I do a segue. Alright, let's see, like... Yeah, okay. Thank God they're already annoying, and then Robin says, right? And then I'll say, the reason we call him the trickster is because he's always tricking old bad habits from our past. Yes, there we go. Because I want to kind of like give a full explanation of these entities in case people like don't watch live streams or like don't watch all the episodes, which is valid because we're coming up on like hundreds of them. So I want this to be like the 3-minute solution to like, what are those things? What are those things? I get those comments all the time. They're like, what is that thing? And I'm like, okay, this is the episode that explains them fully. Like their name, their appearance, what they do, what they represent, like their superpowers, in which eras they were kind of hovering around the most. The reason we call him the trickster is because he's always tricking us to fall back into old habits from our past. And I'll have Parker just very disdainfully say, yeah, guess that's why he won't leave me alone. Because I was the most depressed in Parker's era. I think I was, like, the most anxious in my childhood, like, wild child, in Blackbird, and then, like, I was most depressed in, like, Parker and Hawley era. So, like, I think that's just kind of, like, why they appear so much then. So, yeah, I guess that's why you won't leave me alone. Yeah, the reason we're calling this person because he's always trying to fall back in our old habits from our past. That's why he won't leave me alone. And then I think that would be good. I think I've described everything I wanted to. I've got, the augmentation of, like, growing bigger and smaller, because each of them have their own little, like, superpowers, right? Where they, like, are viewed as superpowers. Because, like, even villains have superpowers, right? Superheroes have powers, but so do villains. So, the trickster can grow big and small, like, shrinking, augmenting, shrinking and growing. And then Clockwork has the ability to stop time and speed up or slow down time. Which is, like, I don't know about you, but when I experience something like a deep trigger, it's like either time stops and I'm like, oh my god, and then I'm like reliving stuff, or it's like everything speeds up and I'm like, everything's out of control and it's just like time is slipping away from me. So she can speed up and slow down time. Figment can shapeshift into like various different little cloudy little fun little things. And then Showbiz, their superpower is like, hasn't really shown up yet, but it's kind of like a, I want to say like mind control. It's very much like a do this thing now, snap my fingers and then I'm like in a trance and hypnotized and I have to do the thing. So it's very much like a, that kind of thing. And as far as Collywobbles goes, it's very much like a, I probably can't get into it too much without going into some pretty gross detail, but we'll just say like acid spit. Yay! We'll just say that. So, yo!
I often wonder if the entities are protectors or if they feed into the negativity in her life. So are they allies with the Wild Child Protection Squad or not? Then I remember mental health is way more complex than that. Anyway, I'm off to the ferry. Fries?
Yay, Fizzy, of course, yes. No, you're kind of right, and, you know, the entities are protectors. They showed up as a coping mechanism, and they show up in a way of your brain trying to protect you from something that is so much bigger than you. And I feel like they are protectors in their own little ways. But as I've grown up and as I've grown out of those situations, those cycles are still continuing, and that's what's harmful. So it's the matter of like accepting like that mental disorders are only disorderly because they are no longer serving you. So yeah, fun times. So yeah, we had the superpower, where the entity originated, and then what it represents, the appearance and why, and then the name, why the naming convention is there, and then awesome. So I will put like a, I think I'll put like a little thing that's like, can I put like a, here, I'll put like a clown, because I always represent the trickster or the clown. Trickster. I like to separate my stuff into little
Another question.
sections.
You said the
Yes.
years were like the stages of grief. Wild Child is denial, Blackbird is anger, Parker is depression, Hawley is bargaining, and Robin is acceptance. Which one is Haley? She's the only one I can't figure it out for.
That's because Wild Child is not a part of this equation. That's a really good, like, a very pretty spot on stages representation you have there. The only thing is that I think Haley is more of the bargaining and Holly's more denial. Because Wild Child isn't in the equation, because Wild Child is the setup for the reason why grief exists at all. Because if my life was totally terrible, there'd be nothing to grieve. It would just be my life and it would just suck. But the fact that Wild Child had it so good and had these great moments, that's where the grief rests. Wild Child is the good, like the calm, the happiness that makes it worth grieving for. So Wild Child isn't a part of the stages of grief. She is like the before the grief. She's the reason why the grief exists at all. So yeah. And you got it. Blackbird is the anger, Parker is depression, Robin is absolutely the acceptance, and I think Haley is more of the bargaining, and Hawley is the denial, because Hawley just is so much like, I'm gonna make a cat cartoon, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna do everything right, because that's what my family told me to do, and I'm the glue that holds my family together, and it's like, girl, what are you doing? And meanwhile, Haley is bargaining of like, should I leave this situation? I'm scared, it's different, I don't like change, and like, it's like, oh, but no, I should still hold on to a couple of these connections, I just gotta look past these bad things about these people, and I'll keep some people in my life, I'll try, and it's just like, almost the foot out the door. So, good analysis, like, you almost got that completely spot on, just, yeah, Wild Child's not in the equation, but you did good. They definitely do represent the stages of grief. Alright, so I'm gonna make sure I indicate, like, which entity is where in my script so I can know, like, just how much screen time I'm giving to each of them, because I want them all to be equal. Alright, we'll do a clockwork next. What about the big puppy dog? I think Parker will also comment on how clockwork's following him around too. Yeah, I guess that's why I will only move on. What about the big puppy dog? Maybe he'll be like, I think we'll make it a running gag that because like Parker is like the most mentally ill out of all of us, so I think it'd be I know it's like sad to make it a running gag, but I think Parker being like the little edgy emo guy of the group, it would make the most sense if he was like, yeah, so that won't leave me alone, and then that won't leave me alone either, and then the next one's like, Parker's like, that one also won't leave me alone. And then we get to the end and Parker's like, is there any entity that won't leave me alone? Like, it's just like, what the hell? And I think that'd be kind of funny. Because then I could do some really fun little anime, little effects and stuff, because like Parker loves that shit. So, what about the big puppy dog? That one. Okay, that's why it won't leave me alone. That one also won't leave me alone. ... Okay. Fix my errors. What about the big puppy dog? Oh, I think I'll also allude to Hawley, because I think my PTSD was genuinely the worst in Hawley's era. That's when I went to therapy. I got that bad. Because I couldn't drive anymore, because when I was driving I was having flashbacks and it was like really dangerous. That one also won't leave me alone, and Hawley will be like, same Parks. And I think it'd also be really fun for him to be like, would you stop calling me that? Already? Because he hates that. He hates it so much. And this is in reference to, like, during that time, people called me, like, okay, so backstory on that, my birth name is Haley. That's why Haley era is named Haley. It's not my preferred name. Please don't call me that unless you're referring to the era. Thank you. I prefer Hawley. It's very significant to me. But people in my life would call me Hey Hey because my name was Haley. And they'd be like, hey, 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 we love you, hey, hey, and I hated it, dude, I hated it. So this is a reference in a way of, like, during that era when people would be like, oh, it's hey, hey, I'd be like, stop, please stop calling me hey, hey. So, it's the same energy as, like, when, like, because I couldn't think of a way to make it, like, the same, but it's still a name that people, like Parker doesn't like that people call him. So Holly's like, St. Parks. And then he's like, stop calling me Parks! And it's just like, we're gonna cut to me being serious. Yeah. That one also leave me alone. St. Parks. Would you stop calling me that already? And then I'll just keep going like they're not arguing. Because I'm used to it. Clockwork is, how did I start the other one? Hold on. I'm already forgetting what I just wrote. Clockwork also appeared in my childhood. I had very specific triggers. Oh my god. It appeared in my childhood. I had very specific triggers, even in Wild Child's era. I think I'll just cut out some words. Wordy, no wordiness. Animating this, I would sometimes remind myself, you're animating this, don't make it wordy, and I'm like, ah, you're right, I'm sorry. Luna, Deltarune, how long are each of the personas gonna be? Hold on. Okay, I had to drink water. I have to drink water this whole time. What the hell? Alright. Each of the personas are gonna vary. So, Wild Child was my life from birth to 8 years old. So that was 8 years of my life, when my identity was forming. And then Blackbird is my preteen. So that's from 4th grade to 8th grade. So that's about 5 years, give or take. And then, Parker is my teenagehood. So that's all of high school. So that's 4 years. And then Hawley is my college years. So that's about another 3 or 4 years. I think it's more close to 3. It's a little more short-lived. It's from age, like, 18 to 21 or 22, I think. 21 sounds about right. And then Haley is my, like, adulthood, but it's also the greatest signifier of, like, Haley era is my age regression, happened during that time. And that was also when I was working jobs and just doing adult things. And that one lasts until I am 25, 26. So right now with the current era is I'm 27. So, each of them are gonna have a varying, like, vastly different amount of episodes I can't possibly predict for you, but I do know that Blackbird's era is going to end, like, at episode 200. I just calculated it all out, so we know that for sure.
Hey Hawley, wishing you well. Enjoy the fries, money? Just wanted to say, I find it very cool to see your writing process. It's so interesting to see you plan and view the final product like Mr. Crow. Be well.
I will try to be well. I try, but I'm so sick all the time. But thank you, Raven Nightshade. That's so sweet. Yeah, you were there for one of the other writing streams I did. I know, a lot of people seem to like it. I will do more of these. Because it is definitely, like, insightful to show that there's so much that goes into this project. It's not like, oh, there's another episode and it just magically appeared, I beamed it from my brain onto the canvas. Like, no, dude, it starts off with writing, and then we voice act, and we edit the audio, then we storyboard it, then we line art it, then we color it, then we lip sync it, then we add little effects and backgrounds and subtitles, and then we upload it, then we write a description, and then we post it, and then we put it into a compilation. It is not as easy as it sounds. But yeah, it's really neat. I really like showing it. Alright, so Clockwork also appeared in my childhood. I had triggers even in Wild Child's era. I think I'll say as early as Wild Child's era. Well, that's what I wanted to say, and then my brain said no. Okay. I had triggers as early as Wild Child's era. They were oddly specific things, like music boxes and rubber ducks. These unexplained, like, how do I describe a PTSD, like, flashback? It's really actually kind of difficult with words. These unexplained daily, like, what's the word for day to day, like normal, trivial, these unexplained, trivial, like, moments that okay, how do I describe this? I have to, like, look at my brain. They were all these specific things like music boxes, rubber ducks, these unexplained trivial moments that would turn into panic. And I can't explain it. It's just like everything gets dark. These unexplained trivial moments that would turn into panic. Maybe pain and panic, because, like, that's like another alliteration, and they're very similar. Yeah, they were only specific things, like music boxes and rubber ducks. These unexplained trivial moments that would turn into pain and panic. But clockwork. But clockwork means, well, she's trying to protect us. Because I do want to emphasize that, like, C-PTSD is there as, like, a coping mechanism, you know? Rewinds is a really good way to describe it. I'm Rabbit6. Oh my goodness. You and I are so similar. Like, I knew you would have a good explanation for that. Dark Choco Cookie is silly. Okay, sorry, I couldn't read your name. It was hard for me. Any personas try to fight back the disorders. I think Robin is. There are definitely, like, Hawley, Haley, and Robin, like, the adults are kind of the only ones who had the means to. Everyone else was stuck in this toxic environment, in this horrible place, and there was no escape. They couldn't really heal in that environment, so Robin's doing the most. You'll see it firsthand, like, you should be right now, like, obviously. Alright, so, but clockwork means, well, she's trying to protect us. She's like this big pit bull mama who looks scary. But really, she's just scared and needs love. That's how I view my PTSD. A clockwork means well. She's trying to protect us. She's like this big pit bull mama who looks scary, but really she's just scared and needs love. I think I'll have Blackbird say something kind of sassy here. Like, I am not loving that thing. Where it's like, Blackbird, don't say that! I am not loving that thing. I think I'll have Clockwork do a little pout. And then maybe I'll have Wyatt, because Wild Child understands Clockwork really well, because we had a whole episode about that. So Wild Child would be like, I am not loving that thing. Oh, and then Clockwork pouts, and then Wild Child would be like, don't worry. Don't worry, like, puppy dog. So I used to call everything in my childhood puppy dogs. Every dog was a puppy dog, and every cat was a kitty cat. Don't worry, puppy dog. I love you. Wild Child's so full of love. So sweet. And Rob will say I do too. I understand you. Clockwork. And then I'll say, you know what, actually I think I will allude to, like, why it looks like a dog. Because it's also Wild Child, is why, Clockwork looks like a dog. So, don't worry, Puppy Dog, I still love you. Even though you remind me of when I got attacked by a dog. Which... Don't worry, Puppy Dog, I still love you, even though you... I think remind me is even though... Yeah. That's too big of a word. Even though you look like Bandit who attacked me. Cause like little kids, when they talk about stuff, they tend to talk about things as if you know what they're talking about. Like they'll be like, my friend Buzz did this thing and he did that and this, and it's like, who the hell is Buzz? Like kids will just tell you like everybody's full government name and expect you to understand like who they're talking about, even though you've never met this person before. So I think it's kind of that where it's just like, you look like Bandit who attacked me, and it's like, who's Bandit? Like, what? Alright, so that changes this a little bit. Don't worry, Puppy Dog, I still love you, even though you look like Bandit who attacked me. And maybe I'll have Robin be like, that's why she looks like that. Huh. Looks at camera. Audience, do you understand? That's why. Breaks the fourth wall. Yeah, so, that's why she looks like that, huh? Maybe I want to talk about, like, the little, clock hands and what they mean and what they do, because, like, that's, like, a huge part of her design. Clockwork means well, she's trying to protect us, she's like a big purple one who looks scary, but really she's scared and you love. I'm not loving that thing! Don't worry, Puppy Dog, I still love you, even though you look like Bandit who attacked me. That's why she looks like that, huh? Yeah! Sweat emoji. Maybe he'll be like more like a, yeah. Oh, wait, I wanna talk about the clock hands. I gotta figure it out. I just have to wait for it to come to me, you know? When I'm writing, it's just a whole lot of me sitting here watching the movie in my head and going, yeah. And I realize it might be a little interesting to watch my expressions, because I'm visually looking around a lot because I can, like, physically see things in my mind, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's put that here. He's very much a visual person, obviously. Oh my god. Alright, so... yeah, that's why she looks like that, huh? Maybe I'll have somebody else who hasn't talked. Haley hasn't talked at all. About... the eyes and clock hands. That's actually really funny the way that I left the script right now. Huh, that's why she looks like that, huh? What about the eyes and clock hands? Yeah. That's it. Episode ends. Yeah. Shrug emoji. Yeah. It's funny as hell. No. What about the eyes and clock hands? Each of the entities have eyes based on their... is it an acronym? Yeah, acronyms. Since the trickster is anxiety and depression, he has 2 eyes. Showbiz has 3 eyes for OCD. Clockwork has clocky work. Clockwork has 4 for PTSD. And Figment, well, she doesn't have eyes because she's blind from dissociation. Yeah. Because I really want to, like, explain the designs more, because, oh, they're so good. I put so much thought into this, y'all. Alright. Alright, each of the entities have eyes based on their acronym. Since the trickster is anxiety and depression, he has 2 eyes. Showbiz has 3 eyes for OCD. Clockwork has 4 for PTSD and Figment, while she doesn't have eyes because she's blind from dissociation. Clockwork's... God damn it. Dara! Sorry, I keep button smashing. Oh no, it's freezing up on me. No, don't do this to me. No! It's freezing up on me.
What do the clock hands represent? They do. Episode ends.
Mal, right? It's so funny, bro. Oh, it's so funny. It shouldn't be as funny as it is. What
Today is one of those days where I napped longer than I thought. I managed to find enough change under my couch cushions to give you fries money in a baggie, so you get that bit of jingly jingly as well.
Oh, yay! Oh my god, Tyler, thank you. Yes! I love stimming with coins. I literally have some, like, on my desk right here that I, like, stim with. Legit. I have, like, so many fun. Well, while my document waits to stop having a stroke, we'll do a what's in my box. This is my little stim box right now. I have these tiny books that have this little tiny Velcro on them that makes really nice sounds. And there's like little pages in it, and I like to flip the pages. So those are for stimming. I have this little rock that looks like a lifesaver, and it's a rock, and I want to eat it so bad! But I can't, and I won't. I shan't. I have these little, like, off-brand Pokemon jelly guys. They're really nice and squishy. I have a couple of lizards. Lizards. That are like gooey and fun. I have a D&D dice. And I have some rocks. This is a fun little carved rock I got from the zoo. This is a worry stone. Which is basically you can put your thumb in it. It has like an indent and it's really nice and smooth. I also have this tape roll. It's like washi tape, but I just like spinning it around and throwing it. And I also have a tiny piece of sea glass, because sea glass is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Sea glass. And a clippy. I have a clippy. I like clips. Clippy. Clippy. So yeah, those are like some of my little stims I have on my desk. And then bonus stim for Halloween. My little drawer won't go back in. There we go. For Halloween, I have these little fuzzy spiders. They're velvet, and velvet's my favorite texture ever. So yeah, I have my little velvet guys. Thanks for coming to my what's in my box. Anyways, is my document done? Oh, my document's done having a stroke. Yay! Anyways, back to typing. La 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 la. I chew coins. So true, Starlit Nights. So true, bestie. What's my favorite thing to do with chocolate chips? Waffles! Chocolate chip waffles, meow cat. They're so good. Alright, so. Let's see. We're gonna talk about the spinny thing. Clockworks, hands, spin, not a J, that's an I. Spin out of control when we're triggered. It's like she's stopping time, sending us back to the past, or speeding up reality to skip over something that's painfully familiar. Ooh, feel like I nailed that. Alright. It's like she's stopping time, sending us back to the past, or speeding up reality to skip over something that's painfully familiar. Okay, did I cover everything about clockwork? We have who they're most around, when they appeared, kind of the intentions, the design, the clock hands, the eyes. I think I got everything down to her name. So we'll do... Maybe we'll have Parker, because I don't want him to only have lines that are just him being, like, the butt of the joke. It could really truly be anybody, though. Maybe I'll have Haley respond, though, because, like, it seems like Haley's already in the scene, so we'll see that. Haley, what about the eyes and clock hands? So that's why she's called Clockwork. And then I'll have Hawley kind of be like, yeah, she sure hangs around. Or, not hangs around, she sure, what is she? It's like clockwork. That's why I called her that. She sure appears like clockwork for me. Hawley is like a very self-centered era for me. It was very much like a introspective, like kind of hard to see, like beyond myself. I was very egocentric. So she's just gonna be like, oh, like she always is gonna talk about herself. You'll kind of see that in like the writing. Oh, you guys are talking about IHOP. It sounds so yummy. Waffles and pancakes and bacon and eggs and oh, I love breakfast. It's like my favorite thing of the whole world, breakfast food. Alright. Yay! One water bottle down. How are you guys doing on your water today? Hydration check! Hydration check. Alright. Yeah, she sure appears like clockwork for me. Alright, I think that's enough of clockwork. She got a little more explanation, but we also got a good explanation of all the entities here too, which is cool. Because in the first part we had, talking about how they won't speak and they don't have mouths. Alright, so next up we're gonna do showbiz. Maybe we'll have Blackbird pointed out. Because it is definitely, like, something that is becoming more and more apparent in Blackbird's era. Showbiz. Alright. She sure appears like clockwork for me. Any reason why this one shows up so much for me? Probably because anxiety. I think I'll have Robin answer, because, like, I think Blackbird and Robin are, like, so similar, because they're both, like, birds, right? So, like, they both have that connection. And I feel like Blackbird really trusts Robin. You're seeing that more and more in every episode of Persona, that, like, we are connecting more, and more every episode. So Blackbird's developing quite a big trust in me right now, which is really cool. Yeah, she sure appears like clockwork for me, and the reason why this one shows up so much for me. Yeah, that's like really redundant. Hold on. I want to say something really funny, like, what about this freak? Showbiz loons. So I know which freak we're talking about. Showbiz? Yeah. Oh yeah, they're a pain. Because I don't have very good feelings about my OCD. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're noticing some of, like, the animal symbolism too, Fizzy Dizzy. Oh yeah. Yeah, and birds of a feather fly together. It's all making sense now.
Why are you guys not drinking water? Lil JK.
Tyler! Okay, I have! Look! Okay, I'm on, like, my second bottle. This one's only half full, but, like, we're getting there, okay? Everybody else, though, dink. I don't care if you're dinking soda or juice or whatever the heck. Just dink! Just dink, just dink. Okay. Water tastes plain. Yeah, well then don't drink water. At least drink something. Dink! Okay. What about this freak? Showbiz? Oh yeah, they're a pain. They represent... By the way, all my entities have, like, pronouns and stuff. I don't know why that is. They just always have manifested that way for me, where I'm always like, it just is so natural. So, like, Trickster is he, him. Showbiz is they, them. Clockwork is she, her. Figment is she, he. I use, like, both he, him, and she, her for Figment. And then, like, Collywobbles is, like, they, them. I haven't really... They're just, like, maybe even it's. Yeah, that feels more right. It feels more right. Just so you know, like, it's just, like, a subtle thing. And I do that because then it kind of gives them some sense of humanity because they are a part of me, and it is very human to have disorders, in my opinion. So to just refer to them all like it, or like they, or making them like it, like not have any kind of sense of their own little personalities, it's just kind of like, the whole reason is that they're personas too, but they're not like exactly me, but they are at least human enough. It's like very human to have mental illness and disorders. So like the whole thing is to not make them into monsters. They're entities, sure, but they're not like evil, and they're not like irredeemable. They're like meant to be healed. Yeah. Yay, good! I'm glad everyone's dinking. Dinking is good. It fuels the writing process. Yes, guys. Okay. They represent our obsessive compulsive disorder. Wait, did I ever, like, point blank say that, like, she's our post-traumatic stress disorder? I don't think I did. What the freak is wrong with me? Clockwork also appeared in my childhood. I will say, yeah, I'll add a line in here. These unexplained trivial moments that would turn into pain and panic. This is better known as complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Try saying that 5 times fast. There we go. Can't believe I forgot that. That was silly of me. Alright. They represent our obsessive-compulsive disorder. I suffer from intrusive thoughts, followed by, like, what is, like, how do I describe it? Intrusive thoughts, followed by, uncontrollable actions that I must perform in order to prevent disaster. That's like the bare bones of my experience. Alright. Disaster. There we go. There's a compulsive disorder. I suffer from intrusive thoughts, followed by uncontrollable actions that I must perform in order to prevent disaster. You did when explaining the eyes. I did. Oh, I guess so. Alright, but I will explain it again, just to be super clear. You're right. I guess I did, huh? I'd rather be more clear than not clear. Okay. Suffer from intrusive thoughts followed by uncontrollable actions I must perform in order to prevent disaster. And then I'll say each era has their own unique struggles with showbiz. And then I'll have each of them explain, because like this one is like very prominent throughout. Each era has their own unique struggles with showbiz. For me, because she's always gonna go first. Lockrid's like, me first, like, you know. So for me, it's like thoughts about dying. For me, it's thoughts about dying. Maybe just death in general, because it'd be like the death of others. For me, it's thoughts about death. Parker, I didn't have too much OCD issues, honestly. I'd say it's like the worst with me like now. So for me, it's thoughts about death. Right now, it's the fear of contamination. It's the fear of contamination, getting sick, and like, I don't know, like what do you describe, like, not locking doors? Like, security breaches. Don't come for me, Five Nights at Freddy's fans. I'm not scared of- I mean, I am scared of Five Nights at Freddy's, but that's not what I mean. Right now it's the fear of contamination, getting sick, and security breaches. Alright, what other areas did I struggle really bad with OCD? Alright, I think I'll just explain more about what's happening right now, because I think it's genuinely the worst right now. Okay, let's see. Fear contamination, getting sick, and security breaches. I often find myself the puppet to showbiz. Rearranging rooms, objects. Rearranging rooms and objects. At their whim. Yeah, I have to find myself the puppet to showbiz, rearranging rooms and objects at their whim. As if the show must go on, or else. Oh, I need to talk about the impersonator. Okay, hold on. I gotta go to Hawley. Because I had, like, weird imposter syndrome issues in Hawley era. Okay, so for me, it's not about death. And I'll say for me again, even though it's redundant, because they're both very egotistical and self-centered, so for them to both ignore each other's story makes sense.
Holding the door shut, I don't know how much longer I can hold them. Hawley door bursts open and I get crushed by a falling door and run over by a bunch of F&AF fans /J.
Oh no! I'm so sorry, Mel. You tried. You tried. You're like cartoon, like splat, like 2D image on the floor, like a flat Stanley, like you poor thing. Oh god, thank you for the donut, that's really funny. Oh, that's really funny. Okay. So for me, it's not about death. For me, it's that I've done something awful, and everyone's gonna find out. Even though I did nothing wrong! That's when that shit started for me. Yeah, so I often find myself the puppet to showbiz, rearranging rooms and objects at their whim, as if the show must go on, or else. They truly look like a ringleader of some, I don't want to say circus, because then I'm gonna summon a whole other fandom! I can't stop summoning the fandoms with showbiz! Oh no! They truly look like the ringleader of some, God, I can't say circus! I can though, because they are very based off of like a little magician. Yeah, maybe I'll see that. They truly look like a twisted magician. Yeah, they look like a twisted. That's another like small detail, by the way, about the entities and their designs. The shape language should speak a lot about them as well. Like showbiz being a triangle has 3 sides, so like OCD. And then like the trickster is like round, because like when I think of like anxiety, you're like a ball of anxiety. Or like when you're depressed, it's like this big, like, sad, gloopy, like, almost like cloud. And then for clockwork, I did like this, almost like it looks like a flower, where it's like all these like triangles and edges, and like, I don't know, there's lots of like arrows and things involved with her design too, so there's lots of like jagged edges but also soft edges, which I think makes a lot of sense. Yes, okay, I know, I'm such a huge Digital Circus fan as well, like, I know, I watch it every night to fall asleep, like, on repeat, legit, all night, like, I watch it, so, like, I'm a huge fan too, y'all, like, help. But yeah, and Figment's kind of a cloud because, yeah, it's just directly relating to that mural that was on my wall from my childhood. And also, it does feel like a cloud. It's like, oh, let's just go to our little fantasy world and forget about reality. So yeah, they truly look like a twisted magician. Eerily similar to the trickster. Eerily similar to the trickster. Oh, I don't know, I said there too many times, since showbiz is an anxiety disorder. 2. This means they also have bells and can always be found. I guess like heard. Because it's almost like a cat when you put like a bell on them is so you can find them. It's kind of like why I put bells on that one, because I always want to be looking forward to making sure. I'm like, wait, is this like an OCD thought? Oh my god. Alright, they look like... You know what, I think I will take this part out and I will say, they look similar to the trickster, since showbiz is an anxiety disorder too. This means they have bells and can always be heard. Alright, I think I've got showbiz down. My gosh, everybody's screaming. Oh my god, there's so many fandoms being summoned every word I say. No, dude. Okay, then we have to get to Figment. Alright. So here's what I'm gonna do. Is there like, do I have a timer on my computer? I don't. Where's my phone? I'm gonna read this out loud and test, like, because we're getting pretty far in and it's looking pretty long, so I want to see how long this is. So I will run a little, like, stopwatch, and essentially time myself reading it and pretending like this is the episode. So I'll act it out a little bit too, so I can get an idea of how long it's gonna actually take. So we'll measure this, and start a little timer, and figure out how long the episode is so far before I continue, and figure out if I need to go shorter or longer. So that way I know how much I have before I jump into the next little segment. Okay. Okay, ready? Start. The personas aren't the only ones here with me. There are 5 main entities that follow us around. They represent our different disorders, trickling into my life from a young age and persisting throughout adulthood.
I met the trickster when I was little. He's a jingly kitty cat who gets bigger and smaller when I feel sad or scared.
Wild Child carried the trickster most of my childhood. I was blissfully unaware that I was already mentally ill at age 5. The trickster represents my fluctuating depression and anxiety. He's also a physical manifestation of all the negative core beliefs that were instilled in me by my abnormal family. He is my self-blame, toxic shame, and maladaptive coping mechanisms. Since Wild Child was the first to become aware of him, he's very cat-like. He's covered in bells from head to toe. You can always hear him coming. But the thing about these entities is that they can't speak.
Thank God! They're already annoying enough as it is.
Right? The reason we call him the trickster is because he's always tricking us to fall back into old habits from our past.
Yeah, guess that's why he won't leave me alone. What about the big puppy dog?
That one also won't leave me alone. Same Parks. Would you stop calling me that already? Clockwork has also appeared in my childhood. I had triggers as early as Wild Child's era. They were oddly specific things, like music boxes and rubber ducks. These unexplained trivial moments that would turn into pain and panic. This is better known as complex post-traumatic stress disorder. But Clockwork means well. She's trying to protect us. She's like this big pit bull mama who looks scary, but really she's just scared and needs love. I am not loving that thing. Sad face.
Don't worry, puppy dog. I still love you, even though you look like Bandit who attacked me.
Oh, that's why she looks like that, huh? What about the eyes and clock hands? Each of the entities have eyes based on their acronyms. Since the trickster is anxiety depression, he has 2 eyes. Showbiz has 3 eyes for OCD, Clockwork has 4 for PTSD, and Figment, well, she doesn't have eyes because she's blind from dissociation. Clockwork's hands spin out of control when they're triggered. It's like she's stopping time, sending us back to the past, or speeding up reality to skip over something that's painfully familiar. So that's why she's called Clockwork. Yeah, she sure appears like Clockwork for me.
What about this freak?
Showbiz? Yeah, they're a pain. They represent our obsessive-compulsive disorder. I suffer from intrusive thoughts, followed by uncontrollable actions that I must perform in order to prevent disaster. Each era has their own unique struggles with showbiz.
For me, it's thoughts about death.
For me, it's that I've done something awful and everyone's gonna find out, even though I did nothing wrong! Right now, it's the fear of contamination, getting sick, and security breaches. I often find myself the puppet to showbiz, rearranging rooms and objects at their whim, as if the show must go on, or else. They look similar to the trickster, since showbiz is an anxiety disorder too. This means they also have bells and can always be heard. Alright, we are at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. So that's a really good time frame. So this one's probably going to be about 5 minutes by the time we finish talking about all of them, which is perfect. This is exactly what I want. I want to keep these videos not too long, so everybody's attention spans can, like, handle it. Yeah, it's kind of sad I have to say 5 minutes is a long amount of time for people to handle, but, you know, late stage phone screen addiction be like. Hooray for everyone. So that's kind of, like, my process of, like, how I figure out how long stuff's gonna be. I just have to read it out. Starlit Night's the way I do it. Well, yeah, like, Wild Child's voice is off because I have to really, like, I have to warm up a lot to get my voice that high, because my register is usually, like, right here.
So it's like, I have to, like, really practice, because if I don't, it ends up sounding like Wild Child has a cold, because it's just, like, not high enough. But I have to, like, practice by making my voice higher and higher, and then making it really high, and then keeping it up there the entire time while I'm talking.
And it's like, huh, and people wonder why I don't do it all the time. It's just like, it's just not it, chief. So, I raise it up a little bit for Blackbird, but it's mostly the way Blackbird talks is how you know it's Blackbird. Because I can sound like Blackbird all day long if I really wanted to.
But it's the voice that really makes everything matter and makes it sound more like Blackbird.
And it's really hard to nail when they're characters of your own. I feel like it's easier to, like, make a caricature and, like, a character and voice act things that are, like, you know, like, you could make into a character. Because when you, like, think of, like, all of these really popular shows and medias, there's obviously something you can mimic because it's, like, unique. So, yeah, it's, like, I've been doing it for a long time, and I've had many wonderful voice acting friends help me along my journey, and it's just lots of practice, and it's lots of embarrassing practice. I usually do it in the car when I'm alone, and I just practice voices that are kind of funky and I've never tried before. And really, like, push Like, that's another thing, yeah, like, you gotta, if you watch me voice act, it's like you're acting, it's not just the voice, it's like your whole body goes into it, because I'm not just, like, sitting here going, ah, I'm in so much danger, like, no, it's gonna be like a, like, my whole body is gonna move, like, there's no way to act without physically moving, like, and that's, like, the whole thing, because, like, if you're a narrator, you're reading lines, but if you're a voice actor, you're acting, and I'm obviously really passionate about it. Okay, guys, let's move forward. Let's get our final, like, entity. I think we'll only cover the main 4 because I am running low on time. I have events to go to today, unfortunately. What am I doing? Oh, Figment. I represent Figment with a rainbow. Yeah. Figment. Oh, wait, that's the end. Don't delete that. My brain was like, delete that! I'm like, why? Don't do that! Okay. Alright, so they look similar to the trickster since Chauvis is an anxiety disorder too. This means they have bells and can only be heard. On the flip side, we have Figment. He's a bit of a more silent entity. Our avoidant personality disorder. Alright, so on the flip side, we have Figment. He's a bit of a more silent entity. Our avoidant personality disorder. Have Wild Child pipe up. I said wild again! Why do I keep doing that? God damn it! Help me. Oh, goodness. The greatest plan that is so funny. That you jump between accents and stuff. Yes, I am Rabbit 6. I will cover Collie Wobbles, oh my god, in this episode. I probably will just end up writing it in, either quickly, because I have, like, a very short amount of time left that I can stream today. Alright, so on the flip side we have Figment. It's a bit of a more silent entity, or avoidant personality disorder, and then Biochild will be like, gasp. She looks like, the mural Daddy painted on my wall. And then I'll have Blackbird correct her, because Blackbird is so actually. You mean the one he never finished? She is so, like... She's like the annoyed emoji that actually, like... Rolling eyes, finger pointing emoji. Here, we'll put it here. There we go. I thought you should make a drawing of what Wild would look like. I can't imagine Wild Child more wild, bro. This kid ate dirt. Like, Okay. She looks like the mural Daddy painted on my wall. You mean the one he never finished? And then I think I'll just have Wild Child very cheerfully be like, yeah, that one! Yay! Completely missing the cue that she is being messed with. Cause like that, my unmasked self is just so like I don't pick up on anything like that. Yo, Ian, thanks for being a member for 4 months. You're an imp. Congratulations on being a peevlet. That is so happy. Yeah, that makes me so happy. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Oh, Aurora, of course. I'm glad that I can help other people while I'm at it. That's like mostly why I posted, is because I know it would help a lot of people. It's important that I'm being like heard. Of course, but it's also a nice thing that I can, like, share it and people don't feel so alone. Alright, so, You mean the one he never finished? Yeah, that one. Figment, quite literally, always has his head in the clouds. He's this colorful cartoon character who appears when I dissociate. Like a silly distraction from reality. That's just like a micro, like, explanation of dissociation. I'm gonna have Blackbird kind of defend Figment here, because I would not have survived without Figment during Blackbird's era. He's a colorful cartoon character that appears when I dissociate, like a silly distraction from reality. Figment saved me. Figment saved me. Things got really, really bad. She was always there for me. Yeah. To indicate that's kind of when Figment started. Figment saved me when things got really, really bad. She was always there for me. Alright, so I have the kind of the looks like a mural, has like a cloud. And while this avoidant coping mechanism was helpful during the worst of my young life, it's harmful now as an adult. I have difficulty grounding myself. I can't socialize properly. I have difficulty grounding myself. I can't socialize properly. All out of a fear of connection, humiliation, and what is it? Like, how do I even describe, like, AVPD? It is just, like, out of a fear of connection, humiliation, and, like, it's just that, like, I feel, like, really awkward. Like, I'm just very socially awkward. On top of being autistic, it is, like, a whole other layer. Because, like, you have to remember, in my childhood, my parents' solution to me being unmasked or showing any emotion at all was to lock me in my room. So, my self-soothing is literally to isolate. And this is like, that's like the core of it all. It's just like, I feel most comfortable when I'm alone, and I feel safest when I'm alone. Out of fear of connection, humiliation, and genuine distrust in people. That's still like connection though. It's like all under the umbrella word of connection. Maybe we'll just do connection, humiliation. I can't think of anything else. I like to do things in threes, because that tends to be like a pattern. It's either two things or three things in sentences. So I have a difficulty grounding myself, I can't socialize properly, all out of a fear of connection and humiliation. I'm gonna say deep fear. And I'm just gonna have Robin say this. It's just natural for us to self-soothe. I'm not even gonna say mom, we're gonna say, parents locked us up as kids. You know? It's all we know how to cope. That's not how it's the only way we know how to cope. Which I already said, you know. We'll just boop. Yeah. It's just natural for us to self-soothe. Why did it not spell check this? I just completely spelled wrong. It's just natural for us to self-soothe. Our parents locked us up as kids. It's the only way we know how to cope. Is alone. While Figment may appear... Don't forget to say what disorder Figment is. Oh yeah, I already have that at the top, don't worry. We said that like right off the bat. I said like the first sentence we introduced it, so we got that, don't worry. Thank you for the reminder. Alright, so it's the only way how to cope is alone. While Figment may appear this fun, helpful entity, she has a dark side and can transform. I'm gonna say shapeshift because that's like more fun. Shapeshift into all sorts of different forms. All in the name of keeping us distracted and away from real human connections. Like, avoidant personality disorder is quite sinister. It is very much like isolate because it's just less embarrassing. Isolate because it's just easier to be alone. Isolate so you don't bother other people and burden them by being annoying. And it's just like this very lonely disorder. Even though you don't feel lonely. I have never felt lonely my entire life. Like, I don't know what loneliness feels like. I don't know what that means. I know it's like an absence of others, but for me that's like relief. So like, I know a lot of people view loneliness as like a negative thing, but for me it is just like kind of the best thing ever, and that's really bad. That's like what the disorder is all about. Okay, let's review Figment real quick. On the flip side, we have Figment. He's a bit of a more silent entity, or avoidant personality disorder. She looks like the mural Daddy painted on my wall. You mean the one he never finished? Yeah, that one! Figment quite literally always. That is, a little bit redundant. Figment, also I remembered something redundant when I was reading this. Hold on, where was it? I remember, I was like, wait, that sounds too similar. Yes, this. She looks like a pit bull who looks scary but is just scared. We're gonna say looks intimidating. There we go. So that way we're not repeating this word scary. Intimidating. No. It's amazing how my brain works. How did I remember that just now? Anyways, Figment always has his head in the clouds. He's this colorful cartoon character who appears when I dissociate, like a silly distraction from reality. Figment saved me. When things got really, really bad, she was always there for me. And while this avoidant coping mechanism was helpful during the worst of my young life, it's harmful now as an adult. I have difficulty grounding myself. I can't socialize properly. All out of deep fear of connection and humiliation. It's just natural for us to self-soothe. Our parents locked us up as kids. It's the only way you know how to cope. Is alone. While Figment may appear this fun, helpful entity, she has a dark side and can shapeshift in all kinds of different forms. Let's say kinds. Because sorts, there's shapeshift sorts. That's like too many S's for me. I'm gonna stutter over that. Sometimes I'll like write things in the sense of like, I know I'm gonna stutter and I'll go, I'm gonna struggle saying that, so I'll change the words up just slightly just so it's easier. Because I struggle with my S's. All in the name of keeping us distracted and away from real human connection. Period. Alright, really quickly, we'll cover the last one. And this will be a great first rough draft. So thank you guys for sticking around. What the freak? Give me my apple. Collywobbles. Thank you guys for being patient and sticking around. This is so much fun. I want to do more of these writing streams. This was actually something that we pilot on the poll and was like about to be second, so I was like, oh, we'll just go ahead and do it. Because I really want to and I think it'd be fun. Alright, so yes, next we're doing collywobbles, which is my eating disorder. So, content warning, I'm about to talk about my eating disorder. I won't get into too much heavy detail, but just so you know, it's gonna get a little dark. Probably. All the name keeps distracted and away from human connection. Alright, I'm gonna have Blackbird again. Blackbird's obviously very centric in a lot of this because, like, she's kind of the worst of my life. Like, obviously she's kind of one of the main eras to show up. It's like my inner children, and like my current self. So I'll have Blackbird be like, okay, yay. There's all these entities or whatever that follow us around, but how come I'm the only one who has collywobbles? I'll have Parker say, oh wait, I forgot the joke about Parker having this one. Hold on, wait, we gotta go back. Yeah, we'll add it right here. So Showbiz. Showbiz, yeah, they're a pain. Again, in all caps. Maybe I'll have Parker say it after Blackbird. So that way the next line will follow better. Okay, so what about this freak? Again! That one follows me too! There we go. Alright, now we'll go back and we'll have Figment like this. Figment save you. Things aren't really bad. Yeah, it's a little serious. Alright, and then at the very end of this, is there any entity that doesn't immediately latch on to me? Okay. And the sad thing is that Collywobbles also is attached to Parker. Oh, it's so bad. Okay, yay, there's all these entities or whatever that follows around, but how come I'm the only one who has Collywobbles? Blackbird. Would you... Blackbird, how shocking would it be if I told you Collywobbles also follows me around? Shocking. Around. There we go. Blackbird, how shocking would it be if I told you Collywobbles also follows me around? I think I'm just gonna have Robin be like, I'm so sorry, Parker. Sobbing emoji. Alright. Cool. Alright, so I'm so sorry, Parker. I'm gonna have Hawley just pick up by saying, like, the reason you two are the only ones who struggle with them, with that entity, is because we got help get, what was it? It was like medical and psychiatric help I got. The reason you two were only to struggle with entities is because we got help early on. Probably won't pursue. I was very fortunate to heal that part of myself. As soon as it was diagnosed. That's a very nice and beautiful way to put that. Yay. Again, I'm trying to be a little sensitive with this one. Calling bubbles represents my eating disorder. I was very fortunate to heal that part of myself as soon as it was diagnosed. I'll probably let them talk about it. Blackbird. I was so anxious about our food supplies. I was so anxious about our food supplies that oh my god, bro. This is what happens when I type for too long. I start to get a little, like, messed up and I have to take a break soon. I was so anxious about our food supplies that whenever we did have food, I just binge eat it. I eat until I was sick. This is really sad to write. I hate this. I'm so sorry, guys. But we need to talk about it. It needs to be more talked about. I just binge eat it. I eat until I was sick. Yeah. And Parker will say every morning it's hell. It just was. I'd go to sleep starving. My stomach acid would get out of control. I'd throw up. And then couldn't eat. Because of that. Man, this is so rough. I still have moments where I get, like, really shaky, like I need to, like, binge eat too, and I have to, like, calmly walk myself through it. And, like, I have the coping skills now, but it's really sad to recall, and it's just really hard. So apologize if I get really distant, it's because the dissociation's gonna start kicking in if I go way too hard onto the thinking about it. Yeah. So anxious about our food supplies that whenever we did have food, I just binge eat it. I'd eat until I was sick. Every morning was hell. I'd go to sleep starving, my stomach acid would get out of control, I threw up, and I wouldn't eat because of that. Doctors hotlined that I was dangerously underweight. After a mental health exam, they misdiagnosed me with, and I'm not gonna say the word, YouTube, I'm just gonna type it. I've spelt it wrong. They misdiagnosed me with that due to my binging and purging. Hello. Not purring. No, Google, I really wish it was purring. Way to ruin the mood, Google. Due to my binging and purging, yeah, here we go. of this eating disorder. Than anything. Being autistic played a heavy role in my relationship with food, but the overall avoidance of food, the constant struggle of never having anything to eat, because we were poor. I'm just gonna, the constant struggle of food insecurity. We'll just make that a lot less wordy. The overall avoidance of food, the constant struggle for food insecurity, and my obsession with the scale and my body weight really was really telling. I just actually recently got my first scale, guys. I just bought a scale because I am going through a special nutrition plan right now because I am very malnourished from a suspected Crohn's disease or lupus. And I have to track my weight. And so I finally have bought my first scale. I haven't had a scale since Parker's era, so it really has taken a long time. So yeah. Let's see. Being autistic played a heavy role in my relationship with food, but overall, the overall avoidance of food, the constant struggle with food insecurity, and my obsession with the scale of my body weight was really telling. So it could definitely be a little bit more ARFID too. I'll type out the stuff later. I'm just running low on time. Yeah. Alright, because ARFID is definitely more of an autistic trait too. So yeah, that was really telling. Hawley Wobbles embodies this terrible time in my life. It resembles a peppermint candy, something I obsessively ate to avoid hunger pains. This is also kind of an unspoken thing about my eating disorder as well. I was very, like, addicted to antacids too, so I probably will allude to that too. Let's see, I was so anxious about our food supplies that when we did food was God, my sleep stomach has to be out until I throw up, and then would me because of that. I was addicted to antacids. That was about all I ate. Yeah, anti-acid, whatever. Addicted to antacids, and that was about all I ate. Yeah, so Colin Waddle's body is a terrible time in my life. For example, this peppermint candy, something I obsessively ate to avoid hunger pains. It was also something showbiz would twist into OCD. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I would, like, base a lot of my OCD on, like, peppermints. I don't know how to explain this. It's such a weird, like, backwards thing. Or other OCD-induced consequences. Yeah, there we go. That's a good way to put it. There we go. Yeah, Collywobbles embodies this terrible time in my life. It resembles a peppermint candy, something I obsessively ate to avoid hunger pains or OCD-induced consequences. It appears like this carnivorous plant. Yeah, it appears like this carnivorous plant representing the binge-eating side of my disorder. It's the only entity with a mouth. But it still can't speak. Only consume. Very terrifying. Yeah, it appears like this carnivorous plant representing the binge eating side of my disorder. It's the only entity with a mouth, but it still can't speak, only consume. I feel like that really covers the... really covers, like, a good amount of this, because I don't want to get too much into it without, like, I want the errors to be able to talk about it in their episodes. So that's, like, a good rough draft. So here's the Collywobbles rough draft. Okay, yay, there's these entities or whatever that follows around, but how come I'm the only one who has Collywobbles? Blackbird, how shocking would it be if I told you Collywobbles also follows me around? I'm so sorry, Parker. The reason you two are the only ones who struggle with the entity is because we got help early on. Collywobbles represents my eating disorder. I was very fortunate to heal that part of myself as soon as I was diagnosed. I was so anxious about food supplies. Whenever we did have food, I'd just binge eat it. I'd eat and eat until I was sick. Every morning was hell. I'd go to sleep starving, my stomach acid would get out of control, I'd throw up, and then I wouldn't eat because of that. I was addicted to antacids, and that was about all I ate. Doctors caught on that I was dangerously underweight. After a mental health exam, they misdiagnosed me with due to binging and purging. In reality, I was more than anything. Being autistic played a heavy role in my relationship with food. But the overall avoidance of food, the constant struggle with food insecurity, and my obsession with the scale of my body weight was really telling. Collywobbles embodies this terrible time in my life. It resembles a peppermint candy, something I obsessively ate to avoid hunger pains or other OCD-induced consequences. It appears like this carnivorous plant representing the binge-eating side of my disorder. It's the only entity with a mouth, so it can't speak, only consume, or... Oh, I don't know what this is a nice word to say, throw up. Well, I just vomit. It's the gross side of the disorder. It just is. Cause like the thing about eating disorders is it is as much as a physical disorder as it is a mental disorder. Like it really truly is. The only entity with a mouth that can't speak, consume, or vomit. Yeah, and that's kind of like the end. So we wrote it all out here. I already read out most of it, so I won't read it out again. And I'm running really low on time, so this is probably going to be the end. I'll answer some last minute questions if you guys have any about the entities or anything I should add. You think that would be interesting or helpful? Here, I'll make this small enough that you can see all of them on the screen at once. There we go. Boom. Alright. So yeah, that's what it looks like to kind of write one episode of Persona Project, at least one of the specials. The actual, like, writing over the years and stuff is a little different, but maybe we'll do that another time, because I really have enjoyed doing the writing stream together. It was really nice. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a Q&A before we go. I'll do like 10 minutes of Q&A, and then I've got to bounce. I gotta go to a birthday party. Oh, yay!
Mal's last minute donos time. $1.
$1.
Thank you, Mal. That's so sweet. Oh, yeah. Regurgitate feels like it worked. Right, there's just so many gross words that I could have used for the eating disorder, but you know. Collywobbles will appear in Persona Project very soon. Very, very soon. Don't worry. This is just the special that we are writing that is going to introduce all of the not eras, what? All of the entities. Entities and eras. Everything starts with E. It will appear, though, later on. Year 11, to be exact. Yes. I'm Rabbit 6. The peppermint thing was definitely set off by that episode. Like, if you read the description of that episode, in year 9, you'll be able to tell. Oh no, that's year 10, sorry. That is year 10, isn't it? Yeah, FCAT. Year 10, yep. Year 10, if you watch, like, the second episode, talks about my OCD, my first OCD thoughts, and, like, the reason why I included the peppermint in there was I associated peppermints with, like, good things. It was very strange.
I want to join in the last minute donos too. $1.
Yay! $1. Thank you, Fizzy. Sweet, thank you. Oh, yeah, we're of course. Thank you, guys. I'm glad I could talk about these things even though they're really rough. Blackbird might not mention it as the tickle bug, because it'll have like a canon name. We'll just refer to it as a canon name. I don't want to confuse people. So I'll probably only be referred to as Collywobbles. And we find out, like, pretty immediately what it is. It gets nipped in the butt really quick, so. Which entity is my favorite to, like, of design-wise? Probably Figment. Figment just is so colorful, and it looks like the mural. It has, like, the night and day. It just, there's something about Figment also looking like it has an eye, but it's blind, and just, there's just so many really awesome, like, symbolism behind Figment's design. Is Parker my anime voice? Yeah, it is. Parker's an anime lover. Parker would absolutely want to be represented by an anime voice. That's like 100%.
$1.99.
$1.99.
Thank you, I'm Rabbit 6. That's so sweet. Thank you. Oh god. And no, Lin 2, I'm not voicing any of the disorders. They don't have a voice. I am me and they are them, and they are just my maladaptive coping skills and mechanisms and disorders, and my voice is their voice in a way, but they will not speak for me. Like, something about self-advocacy when it comes to having mental illness is not blaming your actions on mental illness by being like, oh, sorry, that was just my depression talking, I'm just really, like, sad, so I didn't want to come to your party. Like, you can't just, like, blame it on depression and move on and act like you can just pin all your problems on the mental illness. Like, you're accountable, like, you have it, and you're responsible for taking care of it. So I won't say, like, oh, that's my anxiety talking. I'm just like, no, I am anxious, and I am saying this. Like, it's very much like you can't pass the blame on to, like, some omnipotent entity. It is, like, that's just the way that I explain it, I guess. Yeah. I have some really strange motifs throughout my life, and it's just very much, like, peppermints and clovers are one of them. Peppermints are, like, I can't even have peppermint flavored toothpaste. I have child's toothpaste because it's just, like, the only toothpaste I could find that isn't, like, minty, because I can't stand the taste of mint now. The taste of mint is, like, really triggering for me. So I have to, like, be really careful. Lately, I've, like, the past few years, I've had some peppermint, like, candy canes that I've been trying to, like, reintroduce, but it's still, like, really bad. It triggers that, like, addictive personality in me. Which is strange, because, like, I don't feel like people talk about addictions that are abnormal. Like, I had abnormal addictions. I had antacid addiction, I had peppermint, like, really weird stuff that I was, like, addicted to that isn't, like, drugs or alcohol. My coping mechanisms were what was available to me as a child. But they were still addictions. I come from an addictive family and background, so I mimicked what was around me. How much has Persona Project helped me? A lot. Like, the things that I used to dwell on a lot from Wild Child's era, I don't tend to like spend my time worrying or having nightmares about anymore, and it's just, it has helped tremendously, and it's only going to keep helping more. Parker uses he, him pronouns, Penelope King. That was the most masculine time of my life. I don't want to call myself she, her. It doesn't feel right. I don't think I was she, her, like, at all. The ways that I presented myself and everything about me was just very masculine, and so Parker's he, him. I definitely am leaning more towards, like, I'm gender fluid. But I don't know yet. I'm genderqueer right now, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, how did I come with the ideas for the entities? Frankie San. It was just like, I knew I had all these things going on with me, but it would be way easier if they were just like physical, like things. 'Cause like, there's a lot going on with me. Like, I have depression, anxiety, OCD, C-PTSD, AVPD, like, god damn, that's a lot. It's not even including my chronic illnesses, autism, like, everything else. Like, I have a lot of damn labels, and it is very confusing and convoluted, and I'm a complex individual, as everyone is. So, to make it a little less complex, I have these physical representations of things, instead of point blank saying, I was depressed. It's kind of nice to have a physical character walk on screen and loom over me, and the audience knows, oh, you're depressed. Not, like, looking at the camera and going, I'm depressed! Like, I like showing and not telling, so this is just another kind of brilliant way to show something without having to say it constantly. Because it would get very redundant, and it's just a little bit easier to break down my life in personas. That's why I divided them all up into their own individual personas, and then I divided up my own disorders into their own entities to kind of simplify and explain things a little more concisely and clearly. How long have I been a Pokemon fan? Oh, forever. Or, like, literally, like, childhood, like, Blackbird, Wild Child were obsessed. Like, Wild Child started it. But that's probably all the time I have questions today. This has been a great stream. Thank you guys so much for the support and being patient with my writing process. It's nice that I can just unmask and be dyslexic and just make a couple of silly mistakes and teach myself that it's okay. Because I really need that. I have a perfectionist problem. So it's very nice. Oh, thank you, Clover-Cotted Knight. I always see you all over our Wobble Dogs videos. It's so nice to see you here. I always think of you when I'm doing Wobble Dogs, because you've suggested so many cool names. Oh, and I can't wait! I have so much Wobble Dog stuff in store for you guys. Same thing with Ches is good. I think one of your names came up recently. It was really exciting. But yeah, before I leave, I will give you a quick little rundown of what this week is going to look like. So, this week we have a new video coming out. It's another speed art video. It's all of my eras as little as pet shops. So I hope you guys are excited for another speed art. It turned out really good. I'm really excited. So that's coming out tomorrow for the public. But if you're a YouTube member, you'll actually get it today. So, it'll come out right after the stream. I'm gonna post it for the YouTube members, and then tomorrow it'll go public. And then this week we have a couple Persona Project episodes. The next few ones are a little rough. Please heed the content warnings. It's obviously, we're getting into some pretty horrendous territory in my past. It's gonna be a little dark and a little gruesome and a little grotesque from this point on. So just pay attention to that and be cautious with Persona Project this week. Because the ones that are coming out are a little crazy. But yeah, if we stay on track with my upload schedule, we will actually be finishing year 11 by the end of, or year 10 by the end of this month, and starting year 11 next month. Which would be amazing. So we're gonna try our best. And it should be done either the last week of this month or the first week of next month. It should be when we're wrapping up year 10. So, until then, I will live stream next Sunday, same time, same place. We'll probably do what the second vote was, or we'll do another voting system for the members. It's usually what I like to do. YouTube members get to, like, vote on what we do. And hydrate! Make sure you guys hydrate! Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Dink your oiter. Have a good week, guys, and be good. Thank you for accompanying me while writing. We'll do more of these. You guys seem to really like it, so that's really cool. Until next time, then. Yes, be well, be kind to yourself. Treat your inner personas with kindness. And until next time, bye-bye!